Hi everybody, welcome to the video surprise of the day. Today's video surprise is PPF worth it. Before you get started, please remember to hit the subscribe button, the bell icon when you be notified new videos, and I really appreciate that thumbs up. Thank you very much in advance. Okay, you're gonna ask that question. What is PPF? What's it really mean, right? Well, PPF is paint protection film. Paint protection film is it's a clear film that goes over the paint in the vehicle to preserve the paint from rock chips and debris and even light scratches, right? So it's something that usually people hire a professional to install. It's not simple to do it by yourself as well, too. Okay, so next question comes up. What are some of the PPF vendors? Most notably, 3M is a very famous one. XPEL is another very famous one, which I'm using right here. And there's also different shininess or gloss to it as well too. And another one maybe is Lumar. You could check that one out. And there's a lot of other vendors as well you could check out. But maybe there's difference in gloss, the thickness, and also the price. Keep that in mind. So if you're shopping around for different film, make sure you read the reviews and see what others get. Maybe go through the car forums as well too, and see which is their experience, what experience they had prior, with that particular film. And of course, not all of them are the same. And so to keep that in mind, you could trade some pluses and minuses. Number three, what vehicle should get PPF? Well, if you have a luxury vehicle like this one in particular, it's worthwhile to get it because you want to keep the car in pristine condition from road debris, rock chips, and even light scratches as well too. So that's something it's worthwhile to get, but it's not a requirement. So you don't need PPF. You don't need this paint protection film protection if you don't think it's really worth it or even need it, right? But if you drive a lot on the freeway, for example, it might be worthwhile. So I want to show you, I have a little extra that I have over here, the B pillar. It's not really needed. It's there, because, you go through different washes. Maybe you're going to give you these squirrel marks, right? So that's something that's an extra, right? I also have in different areas of the vehicle. That's a little extra. Okay, the next question that comes mostly is a determining factor is the cost. It's a big con, actually, in fact. The cost is very expensive for this. It actually shocked me when I found out the price. For hood, bumper, and fenders, could be like $2,000, right? You want the side mirrors and also the door cups and stuff like that. You can well over $2,000. So it really depends also on the place you're gonna get installed, how experienced the installer is, how busy the shop is, and also how many parts of the vehicle you're going to install. You want to install in the whole car, maybe it's like $5,000 to $6,000. That's a possibility, right? People have it installed on many different cars, but some cars are more expensive. It's just more areas. It's harder to install as well too. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick installation walk around. I want to show you the B pillar and also the side mirror, and this is the fender over here, and also the bumper. I also have it done on the headlights as well as part of the front of the vehicle. And you can see that it's not that much difference in color. It doesn't change your color a lot, and this XPEL Ultimate Plus is very shiny as well, very glossy. So nice paint protection from rock chips. So on the fender, they actually removed the Sport logo and they put it back. And I wouldn't be able to notice that they removed it unless you got really close and you can see the double-sided sticky tape. So they did a good job on that. And a good installer will actually wrap around the hood and the edges. The bad one won't. And also you can see on the A pillar until you get really close, you can't really see the lines until it gets get really close. You can see the lines. It gets dirty, right? This side they did an excellent job on the mirrors. Couldn't see anything different from that. So it's perfect. So installers tend to wash your vehicles. Maybe they shampooed it, washed it, make sure all the dirt's off before they install it, so you don't see anything underneath it. So if they tell you I'm just gonna clean part of the hood, and they don't tell you the whole process, watch out. So that's something you want to note that before you do it, because once you install, it's not very easy to remove. So you have to have a steam machine just to remove it carefully, and you probably need to hire a professional to remove it, and those extra costs as well too. So you can see it on the bumpers, the curve, and everything like that. So it's a nice installation. I would say like a B. I wouldn't give it an A overall, because there's some gotchas on the hood, and also some areas on the edge wasn't that perfect. So did an excellent job in the headlights though. Maybe a B plus. Okay, B plus, A minus type of job. Wouldn't say A plus or something like that. It had to be super awesome to get the A plus in my book. They did a good job overall. I wouldn't say it's perfect 100%, but it's definitely not paint. So paint you could be needs to be 100%. Okay, otherwise it looks funny. And as in PPF, the color may be a little bit shade darker, maybe in a way you could say it, but I wouldn't notice it that much. On the camera, it probably show a little bit better, but to the naked eye, you probably won't be able to see that much difference. So I'm gonna go over other things you want to look for. If you want to get PPF, make sure you shop around, look for the shop, or look for a mobile one that has a vehicle they're working on or done already, so you can see how they do the work. Ask a lot of questions if they wrap it around. Ask about the different parts you want to install. To me over here, I got the door cups installed as well too. So A pillar, B pillar, that's the B pillar, and the one I show you in black. The A pillar is the one in the windshield, by the way. And I have the side mirrors done, and also have the headlights. And again, on this side, it's the same thing. If you get closer, you can see it. There's a little difference, I guess, on the camera, but in reality, you see in person, you won't be notice it that much. So it looks pretty nice overall. I mean, for a lot of them, if you use a heat gun or something, you have a very light scratch, it won't go through your paint. So that's a good thing. So if you drive the car for many years, it's a nice investment over time. And the door scuffs, the handle scuffs, those are really great with these door cups as well too, even though there's very obvious that there's something there. So that leaves us some time to talk about the pros and cons. Okay, and one thing I do want to flow out, the 3M ones in the past do turn yellow, but the new ones they don't. If you guys have 3M, the new ones installed, let me know if the new ones are thicker than XPEL. Looks like my XPEL, a little bit disappointed. They aren't that thick. They're actually thinner than I expected. The film is very thin, I think. So, which is a little bit thicker. So, hey, so a little bit about the pros and cons in this product. And I'm going to give it the pros first, and you get to weigh it if you really want to get it. So, first pro is actually protects the paint from rock chips, road debris, and light scratches. And also protects you from getting a major repaint. So, you got some pretty bad rock chips, maybe say in the bumper, for example. It could be very costly to get a repaint on the bumper. Or a hood, maybe it's going to be very costly, and the paint may not match. So, if you have paint protection film, you avoided all that. Just change the paint protection film, you're all good to go. So that's a very simple process, right? So, okay, before I head to the con part, I just want to show you a little bit on the B pillar on this side. You can see how good of a job they did to wrap around the B pillar. And sometimes they don't really do a good job in this area. So it's worthwhile to check it out and see how good of a job they wrap around. So you can see that you be really careful not to damage your paint, or in this case, door pillars, right? This is a B pillar, so they wrapped around pretty good. So did a good job on that. And this is a little bit extra, I guess. Okay, so a little bit on the con. There are a few cons in this. Number one, the most bad thing about this thing, right, is actually the cost. The cost is very expensive. If you just do the front bumper, the hood, and the fender, it could be at $2,000 already. If you add extras, like the door cups and A pillar and B pillars, you could looking at $2,500 in no time. So and that's something to note. It's not cheap. Okay, definitely not cheap. And another con is it's hard to remove. Definitely, you want to remove by professional. So even removing it costs money. So let's think about that. Removing the paint protection film, if it got damaged or something, it's going to be expensive too. So you have to pay for that removal as well too. And the good ones over here, you can see that they wrap around the installers. The bad installers won't wrap it around. So and you can see the thing always cut to the edge only. So that's another thing to note. Make sure you look at the installers carefully. So, and another con, maybe the third one for the con is basically it's not going to be 100% protection for the paint. So, it's still a big rock could hit it, for example, at high speed, and it still could chip and go through all the way to your paint through the paint protection film. So that is something that you also want to think about as well too. So I think you have all the facts. All I could say is do your research, who you're going to use, and if you want to do it, it could be any vehicle that you want it to be done. It could be a Lexus, BMW, Mercedes, Tesla, you name it. So, even a Camry or a Core might be worthwhile to do. So if we were to, for me, I think definitely I would still do it, but it's definitely very expensive, and it's not going to be an investment actually on your vehicle. It's for protection of the vehicle, because cars are not good investments overall. And let's be honest about that. Unless you have a special car that's very special, it's not an investment. It's actually preservation of the vehicle. So if you plan to keep it in good shape, keep a nice resale value, then you probably want to get this paint protection film. Why do you don't want to get it? Well, it's expensive and it's not going to be 100% protection, and it's hard to remove. And if you have a cheap car, right, Corolla maybe, for example, it's not that expensive. It's going to be hard to justify the cost for getting it on a Corolla. So this really depends on your needs. And if you drive around the freeway a lot like I do, definitely you need it. If you drive around the street, maybe, for example, you don't really go out to freeways much at all, maybe you can take that risk, right? But I don't want to maintain the paint all the time and fix those rock chips. And if not, it's going to rust. It happened to my other vehicle. Hopefully this video helps you a lot. Thumbs up. See you next time. Bye.